Let me tell you about the online cannabis company that's revolutionizing how we deal with life's challenges. From sleepless nights to stress-filled days, Mood.com. They've created an entire line of functional gummies that target specific health concerns with 100% federally legal THC blends. They'll deliver them discreetly right to your doorstep. And you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code THEN AND NOW. Then and now. You know, I've tried a bunch of gummies myself, and it's in my algorithm. So always on, as I'm scrolling, I'll get them advertised to me, and these are great. I can personally attest to it. They really work, and they have so many different varieties. So many varieties, and it's amazing how different each one feels. Like the sleepy time gummies, knock me out in 15 minutes flat. And there's no hangovers, no grogginess the next morning. You actually wake up feeling amazing. And the Epic Euphoria gummies, they're perfect for those days when, you're feeling just kind of lackadaisical and you need a little pick-me-up, maybe a reset button on your crap mood. What makes these different is how they've paired THC and other cannabinoids with herbs and adaptogens. So you're not just going to find gummies like this in the dispensary or anywhere for that matter. And they have gummies for literally everything, like immune support, menopause relief, PMS symptoms, mental clarity, sexual arousal. And each one is crafted using federally legal cannabis, grown on small, family-owned American farms. No pesticides, no BS, and they can ship to most states in the U.S. And again, this is legal, so you're good. It's a great way to even try cannabis if you haven't before. This is a good place to start. Best of all, not only does Mood stand behind everything with an industry-leading 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but, as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with the code THEN AND NOW. So head to Mood.com, browse their amazing selection of functional gummies, and find the perfect gummy for whatever you're dealing with. And remember to use promo code THEN AND NOW at checkout to save 20% on your first order.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
In 2005, two brothers hit the road in search of their father and wound up fighting demons, angels, monsters, and fate itself.
Over the next 15 years, Supernatural became more than just a TV show. It became a family with one of the most passionate fan bases in the world.
I'm Rob Benedict. I played Chuck Shirley. You might also know me as God.
And I'm Richard Speight Jr. I played Loki, the Trickster, and Gabriel. And I also directed more than a few episodes.
Now, we spent years making this show, but we never actually sat down to watch every single episode in order until now.
And that means that each week we're watching Supernatural from the beginning, now diving into Season 8, the year of purgatory, prophets, and the pursuit to close the gates of hell. And we'll be joined by cast, writers, directors, and the crew who help bring each episode to life.
You'll hear behind-the-scenes stories, our honest reactions, and maybe learn a little about how television gets made along the way.
Now, I'm warning you, there are going to be spoilers. And remember, this is our first time truly watching the series, so if we miss a detail or don't remember what happens 3 seasons from now, well, that's part of the fun.
So join us as we keep the engine running, hit the open road, and fall even deeper in love with Supernatural. Hey everybody, it's Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Speight Jr.
And we are talking about Season 8, Episode 6, Southern Comfort.
You know, so much about Southern Comfort can be discussed. It's an alcohol. It's a state of mind. And I know we're going to get into this as we, break through the episode and give it our Rob and Rich spin. But
break through to the other side.
Yeah, a lot to unpack here. But
sure.
The most important thing to unpack and I know you know
Oh, do I?
what I'm about to say, and I know you agree with me. The most important part of this episode of this podcast is that we are house sitting for Steve Hine. Steve Hine is gone. He's not here.
Hineless.
He's not running the show.
No.
The new boss is Trey Booty.
Trey,
dude,
what's up, booty?
Yeah, we don't have to scream "What's up, Booty." We can look him in the eye and say, "What's up, Booty?"
Hey, man, how's it going?
Yeah,
yeah. No, that's really the elephant in the room. Is that the elephant is gone?
We're Hineless.
Hineless,
but we got extra booty. Hineless with extra booty. That's how I order my lunch.
Tell me about Southern Comfort. Is that a drink that you were raised on? Because I know you're Southern.
I am Southern. No, I think it's just a booze. I think it's a whiskey. I don't exactly know.
It's a whiskey, like a whiskey blend or something?
Yeah, I don't actually know. I'm going to look it up right now.
I seem to remember from my sort of half Southern upbringing that it's not very good.
Well, let's find out right now. It's a whiskey-based liqueur, originally created in 1874, that is known for its smooth, sweet, and fruity flavor profile from infusions of peaches, citrus, and spices. While its original recipe blended fruits and spices with whiskey, the modern version's base is sometimes a neutral grain spirit flavored to taste like whiskey. Ugh. Although some modern recipes have returned to a whiskey base. It is popular in cocktails and can be enjoyed neat or on the rocks.
Okay. Well, hey, I stand corrected. Maybe it's delicious.
And it's classic, and it is technically a liqueur, not classified as a whiskey.
Okay. Good to know. I did not know that.
No, neither did I. I've never tried it.
All right.
It never has intrigued me.
See, this is what happens when Hein isn't here. We do
whatever we damn well please.
We do fun facts up top. We don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody and a happy Thanksgiving. We're recording this a few days before Thanksgiving.
Correct.
You'll be listening after Thanksgiving, but we're thankful for all of you for listening to this podcast. We want to make sure that you follow us on Instagram and on YouTube, but mostly Instagram.
Right. We want you to follow us. We want you to enjoy your holiday.
Yeah.
If you are a listener that's not having a holiday, that doesn't mean you can't have a great week. You know what I mean? Like, lean in. Have a great week this week. Make the last Thursday in November or the third Thursday in November or whatever classifies as our Thanksgiving, which I forget.
Sure, these days.
Whatever the kids call it. And just enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Sure.
Gather friends, gather family, have a nice one. Like we're doing. We've kicked out Hein. We brought in Booty. Yeah. We're having a great one.
Yeah. Kick out your Hein and bring in your Booty.
Yeah.
And have a great Thanksgiving.
If you learn nothing else from us, it's those two things.
All right, here we go. Dean brings Sam a case in Kearney, Missouri. You know what state I'm from, Rich?
I know, and that's why I thought this was literally funny out of the gate, 5 seconds into the episode.
Yeah.
It's called Southern Comfort, and you and I have always made the joke of like, Rob's not Southern. He's like, I am Southern. I'm from Missouri.
Exactly.
And the Missouri Compromise, where we said, fine.
Well, we don't have to get into the details.
It's still very much a Southern state.
Yeah.
We've had that argument, and sure enough, here comes Southern Comfort.
That's right.
Immediately, it's set in your hometown or your home state of Missouri.
My home state, Kearney, Missouri. And you know what they called me growing up? Benny. So the fact that Benny is a character.
Oh,
and it's,
that's right. Hey, do you know where Kearney is?
No, never heard of Kearney. But nevertheless, here we are in Kearney, Missouri.
Here we are.
Surprising Sam. Dean brings a case from Kearney, Missouri. Surprising Sam, since they haven't spoken since Dean defended Benny.
Oh.
Sam demands to know why Benny gets to live when Amy Pond didn't, Rich.
Oh, man, that Amy storyline strikes deep. And
bring out the dead horse.
Just all of my emotional buttons were pushed for the reference to Amy. Bring out the dead horse.
We're a season away and we're still talking about Amy.
And let me tell you something. If we hadn't turned Amy into a runner joke, I would have had no effing clue.
No idea who that was.
I would have been like, what?
Not at all. In fact, there are several references in this episode where they're like, well, what about that? And you did this, you did that. I'm like, oh, I remember that. I remember those things. Well, anyway, we'll get to that. But in the meantime, Dean insists that Benny hasn't killed anyone and he's a friend. He adds that if Benny ever slips and another hunter kills him, so be it. Still frustrated, Sam agrees to work the Missouri case.
Right. Okay, good.
They arrive.
And you know, it's funny. They had this comment in this episode. They go, Kevin's in the wind. And the last time they said, Kevin's in the wind. I'm like, that was their catchphrase for like, Kevin's in the wind, man. He's just in the wind. That's like street for can't find Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin's in the wind. Never mind, Kevin. He's in the wind.
In the wind.
It's really windy where he's at. They arrive at the crime scene where Mary Lou murdered her husband Chester in a sudden fit of rage. Dean believes the near decapitation is their kind of job.
Yeah.
There's already another hunter on the case. Guess who it is? Garth. Garth is back posing as a Texas Ranger, which seems foreshadowing.
Yeah, because he likes to wear the costumes, that Garth.
That and Jared will go on to become a Texas Ranger.
That's
and
right.
Walker.
You look at you. You're so on it.
I'm on it. And juggling multiple phones to help other hunters. Sam asks Garth if he's trying to replace Bobby. And Garth explains that when Bobby died, Sam and Dean disappeared. Someone had to step up. Dean's upset.
Yeah, Dean is upset about it, and he's real jerky, honestly, to Garth.
To poor Garth.
I felt bad for Garth. Garth hadn't done anything wrong to anybody, but here comes Dean.
And our friend DJ is from the South, but boy, he looks funny in a cowboy hat.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably by design. They probably got one a little bit too big for that noodle of his. Yeah, it is funny how it's funny how it's funny.
Yeah.
But they did this again. This is very much designed. They really lean into doing funny stuff with Garth, and I don't mean DJ's obviously a great actor, plays the character really well.
Yeah.
It's just they do funny edits and slow motion, and they really cinematically try to like go, huh?
Right.
We're making jokes here, huh?
Yeah. And I don't know if they need it.
They don't. It's very heavy-handed, in my opinion.
Yeah. My favorite stuff is when he's sort of grounded and has honest moments.
And DJ didn't need the help.
Yeah. Sam finds no EMF or sulfur, but Garth literally steps in sticky green ectoplasm.
He sure does.
He tastes it to confirm. I don't agree with that choice.
Anybody watching at home, don't do that.
The coroner reports the word Alcott was carved into Chester's chest. Mary, now hospitalized, remembers losing track of time and being overwhelmed with rage. Alcott, she explains, was a girl Chester took to prom decades ago. Nothing recent explains the attack. While the Winchesters eat, Garth asks Dean where he's been. Dean gives the short version, purgatory, but he doesn't elaborate. They learn Garth was a dentist before becoming a hunter. His first kill was the tooth fairy.
Yeah, that was an interesting revelation.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Mary's son Scott stops for coffee.
Oh, right. And we met Scott because that's who he's interrogating when they pull up. Yeah.
Right. And green ectoplasm is leaking from his ear. That's never good.
No. And again, if that happens, kids listening at home, seek medical help. Don't taste it.
No.
And don't kill a stranger.
Yeah, because it could be ectoplasm. And so he goes in the acid sip and murders an old friend, Jeff, after a small argument. I just laughed because he was like, crap, Jeff's here.
He really lights into Jeff. I don't remember why. What had Jeff done? Something about second base or?
No, we find out that they owned a business together, and I don't know, something happened there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Security footage shows a distorted image of Scott's face, briefly replaced with that of a decomposing Confederate soldier, like you do.
Yeah.
At the scene, Dean notices Garth wearing Bobby's old hat and rips it off him. The sheriff says Scott only remembers rage, and he wrote Sussex in Jeff's blood.
And Dean really didn't like the hat pit. Didn't like him wearing Bobby's hat.
Really, yeah, you can't. That's Bobby.
Yeah.
And also, Garth is saying
idjit and balls,
but he's saying it wrong. He's saying it inappropriate.
According to Dean, I mean, I don't think Dean has the corner on balls.
Yeah, that's true. Sam goes to question Sarah Alcott while Dean and Garth look into Sussex. Sarah tells Sam that her fling with Chester was one night and long past, but Mary never fully got over it. Sam flashes back to his early days with Amelia when she revealed her husband died in Afghanistan and she fled the pity of others. Okay, these flashbacks are really annoying me.
Dude.
It's like a door. It's always a door. Like someone shuts a door, he's like, a door. She had a door.
He didn't say door, though. He's just, his brain goes there, right?
Just the doors that reminds him of a door.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And what is it right now? It's just playing out like a normal relationship. I don't understand.
It looked like they cut these out of Murder, She Wrote and slapped him into the
it doesn't make sense. And
episode.
Also, the one time, and I don't know why this bumped from me, and you're going to make fun of me for saying it, but the one time that they're post-coital lying in bed together, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's got her shirt off. He's wearing a T-shirt. It just looks weird to me.
Yeah, especially as much as Jared wants to take his shirt off every 2 seconds.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't pick up on that, but you're right. That's weird.
Researching Sussex, Dean learns it was a failed business Scott and Jeff had together. They'd started it together. So there was unresolved resentment.
What kind of services or goods did Sussex provide?
That's a great question. I don't remember. I think one of the reasons it was a what's it called when it's a clue that doesn't wind up being what you think it is?
A red herring?
Yeah, a red herring. Yeah. Sussex sounds like a Confederate name.
It sounds British.
Sounds Confederate to me.
Well, that's just because everything sounds Confederate to you.
Agree to disagree. Sam then reports that Mary never forgave Sarah. Garth finds a reference in Bobby's journal. Green ectoplasm indicates a specter, a ghost that possesses people and fuels old betrayals.
Yeah.
That felt a little easy to me, just that it was like, wait, look, here it says.
Right. Yeah.
But a local grave, the Confederate unknown soldier, was desecrated the day before Mary's attack. So the hunters burned the soldier's bones. But the next day, Deputy Doug Wallace becomes possessed after handling Scott's belongings and kills the sheriff. The Winchesters realize something was taken from the grave, a missing object.
Had to be. Otherwise, you know, why is the guy still haunting people?
A missing object the specter is attached to. Doug reveals that Deputy Carl Henry took his gun and ran off. Dean heads for the hospital while Sam and Garth research the unknown soldier's identity. At the library, they learn the soldier was likely Vance Collins, a Confederate. Hey, can we give just a shout out to the librarian?
You thought she was cute because she was a pretty redhead. The second she came on screen, I'm like, oh boy, Robbie's doing a freeze frame. She could do your decimal system any day. She made your decimal system all Dewey.
I just thought she did a great job. A photo shows Vance wearing a necklace, probably a copper penny. Sam calls Dean to warn him. Dean intercepts Carl at the hospital mid-attack, but Carl overpowers him and forces the penny into Dean's hand. Uh-oh.
Okay, we skipped one thing. There is a moment where Garth and Sam are walking up the stairs to, I think, the library or something. Maybe a precinct of some kind. Anyway, Garth is like, what are you and Dean so upset about? It's like when you're talking to each other, neither one of you listening. You boys got to connect better. And out of the blue, Sam stops walking up the stairs and Garth keeps going. And Sam, out of the blue, based on nothing, not a visual image, nothing that Garth said, all of a sudden, Sam just turns and looks longingly into the distance, and we go to another flashback. And at that point, I literally paused the show. I'm like, okay, now somebody's just jerking me around.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
I feel like there was a door nearby. I always thought it's a door.
Doors. Damn doors.
She had a door. Yeah, I know.
Like, Garth walks upstairs. She used to walk upstairs.
Yeah.
I do not get it, dude. And I tell you, I hate to be this guy. There's just no chemistry in those scenes.
No.
It is. No. There is nothing happening.
No, and I'm just waiting to find out what makes it unique, other than he likes this girl, and that's what he's been doing this last year. But like, what does it wind up being, and how does why do we care?
The big why do we care question that's still floating around out there because they almost feel like they're distracting. You want to fast forward through them. They're just like
they are distracting, and when Dean flashes back. You're in purgatory, so it's pretty like high level, like, oh crap, what happened in purgatory? Like that feels like high stakes.
Stakes.
This right now just feels like, hey, I do trust you.
Did Dean's flashback seem like very, very high stakes? Sam's flashback seemed like maybe chicken fingers or a kid's meal.
Exactly.
Zero, definitely not stakes.
No, not stakes. Back at the motel, Dean sits silently as Sam enters. Green ectoplasm leaks from Dean's ear.
Yeah.
We know what this means.
He's in a mood.
He is now possessed. Dean rages that Sam betrayed him for years. Drinking demon blood, trusting Ruby, staying soulless. Those are the things where I was like, I remember that.
And I got to say, Dean, Angry Dean, Ectoplasm Dean, got a lot of good points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He should have said, and all these flashbacks. What do they mean, Sammy? And worst of all.
Why do doors trigger you?
And worst of all, not looking for him when he was in purgatory.
He's got a point.
Yeah.
He has a point.
And again, if the flashback they better lead to something huge.
Yeah.
It better be a good excuse.
I know.
They fight until Garth intervenes, eventually punching Dean, causing him to drop the penny.
I like Garth getting between Dean and Sam, too. He's like, you can't kill me.
Yeah.
You're not mad at me.
Yeah.
It became a human shield, Robert. A human shield.
Human shield, we call it. Well, Garth picks it up, and he's unaffected and melts it down. He tells Dean to stop being an idiot about Sam. Correct use of that.
Yes.
And hunters need each other. Dean returns Bobby's hat to him with a nod of respect. Before leaving Missouri, Sam remembers telling Amelia he didn't pity her and that he ran too after Dean died because she had someone who died.
Yeah.
Not enough yet for me.
No, not at all.
No. Back in the Impala, Sam tells Dean about Amelia and says Dean must own his mistakes too, including lying about Benny. Sam warns that he may have to be the hunter who kills Benny someday. Dean says they'll cross that bridge when they get to it.
She's a veterinarian. She makes a decent living. Why not live in a hotel? Why a motel? Why a drive-up motel?
Yeah. Is it real? And he looks so funny in that motel bed. There's a shot where she looks back at him. He's wearing his t-shirt. He's under the covers in that, like, it's like a single. It's not even like a queen size. And he's so big. It just looks funny.
It's
he looks
hilarious.
like a little boy. That scene, that last scene between the two brothers, I thought was really good, actually. I thought that was a really good scene, and it felt very grounded and real.
With Garth, you mean? The one with Garth and...
No, with Sam and Dean, where Sam's like, I might have to kill Benny.
Right.
And Dean says, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
And they kind of cut, they will cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, got it. I like that too. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's fair point by Sam.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've done our best sort of piecing it together here with that. I think it's time to do the next thing we do, which is R, Rob and Rich ratings. Oof.
Well, let me say this. There are some great moments in this episode written by Adam Glass.
I like always great to see Garth.
Garth is really funny.
Garth replacing Bobby. And honestly, Dean was jerky about the Bobby stuff, but Garth has a point. Like, somebody's got to be that guy.
Yeah. I actually liked when DJ has a really serious moment, when he kind of gets tears in his eyes and they're talking.
That I thought that was awesome when he's like, "Hey, Bobby wasn't just yours.
Yeah,
Bobby didn't just belong to you." It's great. It's
Exactly.
great exchange.
Good point.
And I'm glad that was there, because it would have been very unsatisfactory if they kept that humorous tone the whole way through and never let Garth have an honest beat. And so that was awesome.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah. And I thought the case, it wound up being, it made sense.
Yeah. A lot of rage.
The rage thing. Yeah.
The little kid or the young teenage boy who first touched the penny wasn't affected. And they explained that away by going like, yeah, he was young and innocent. And I felt like there was a bit of a reach, because like every other person who touched the penny had a reaction.
And Garth too. Like, really? None?
Oh, because Garth is like, I actually liked going, I thought Garth was a more clever version of like, hey man, I've let it all go. Made sense to me. Like
Sure. Okay.
just the teenage boy, like, he's innocent. I'm like, well, it wasn't a 4-year-old, it was a teenage boy.
Well, and what about the cashier that he handed it to?
Yeah, I didn't, like, they had to sort of leap over certain things.
Yeah.
Oh, fiddle faddle, whatever, pish posh.
Yeah, they had to do it. They had to do it.
Let's get to facial hair here, son.
All right, I've got one.
Okay,
I've got
please,
one,
go.
and it's going to sound worse than it is, because I didn't hate this episode. I had fun watching it.
Okay.
I just have so many overall questions that haven't been answered, and
Right.
it really, a lot of it revolves around Sam's, what Sam did last year. I know what you did last summer, because I don't know what you did, and I don't know why it matters.
Or if it was during the summer.
Right. But when Prince changed his name to a symbol, and he had it shaved into his face, into his beard, that's what I'm giving it.
Okay.
Prince with the symbol shaved into his beard. We just don't know what it means. We don't know what it means yet. Ultimately, we did, but he had it shaved into his face, and that's
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
I get it. I have one that I got to get here just to clarify my own beard choice. This is a really deep cut here,
Okay.
but I'm going to go with, I'm giving this a Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme.
Which is the character that Timothée Chalamet plays in the upcoming movie called Marty Supreme, about a ping
Oh
pong.
wow, a mustache.
Yeah, barely a mustache.
Okay. Wow.
A young boy mustache.
Wow. You really did not like this episode.
The flashbacks are killing me.
Right.
The Sam flashbacks just don't work on any level.
Right.
And you don't think they do either. And so then it interrupts the flow of a story.
Right.
That's working.
Right.
So it's more about, it's not that I'm really glad Adam's here, because we can talk to him. Obviously there's an overreaching point to these things.
Right.
But I'm struggling with him, man. I really am.
Right.
And it's not one thing. It's not like she's a bad actress. She's not a bad actress at all. She's doing her best, and old Jared's doing his best. I don't like the way they color treated the flashback. Like, I think technically it's a weird look.
Yeah.
And you do too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm
yeah.
giving this a Marty Supreme, the Timothée Chalamet. We're not even sponsored by this movie. I can say sponsored by Warner Brothers and their upcoming
Yeah, exactly.
fictional story of a ping pong whiz, Marty Supreme.
Soundtrack by Prince. And also, the flashbacks limit all the great things about the show. Like, they limit the writing, they limit Serge's DP work. You know what I mean?
And they stuck him in this motel, which I love
The
Jerry's
set.
motels, but there's like
Exactly.
how many scenes can you get in one?
And maybe we're going to come to find out that it's something. It's a spell. It's in Sam's mind.
Turns out she's a Rougarou.
Yeah, and she's a Rougarou. So it could be, this whole thing could be just Rugeristic.
She could be a Rougarou or a shapeshifter.
Or a Rougarou.
Maybe she's somebody with a fear of bare chests. And
that's what it is.
Insists on Sam wearing shirts.
Exactly.
And that eventually breaks them up because he insists on being shirtless. All right, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there we go. And we're going to get to the bottom of it because, Rob, we have the very guy who can help us crack this code.
That's right. Our friend Adam Glass. We're excited to have him back. He was the writer of this episode.
Such a great writer and executive producer and creative mind.
Yeah, we really love Adam, and we're going to talk to him right now. So here's our interview with Adam Glass. Hey, buddy.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good.
We need some help.
Mm-mm.
First of all, thank you for doing this. We know you're busy as can be, so we appreciate you taking time to do this.
Always for you, too.
What can you tell us about these flashbacks with Sam and the veterinarian girl?
and was that hard to work into your story? I mean, because it feels like it's a difficult thing that you've got to keep sort of coming back to, sort of hinting at.
And not just this episode. Every episode that it shows up in, it feels kind of shoehorned in a weird way.
And we don't know where it's going.
Yeah, we don't know.
We really have no idea. So
yeah, it's really interesting because, like you guys, like I haven't watched the show in a while. And all of a sudden I'm on the plane last night watching Southern Comfort.
Right.
And it's bringing back all these memories, and stuff that I had totally forgotten about. The opening scene obviously is, and I'll tell you the rest of the story, but like the first thing I hear is, why don't you ask Sarah Alcott? And I'm like, Sarah Alcott, that's my kid's librarian at their school.
Oh my God.
Like, why did I use her name?
That's
what I'm saying? Like, and then my buddy Scott Liu, who passed away from ALS, his name's in there.
Oh, wow.
My buddy Matt Harvey, who is my children's godfather, his name is in there.
Wow.
Like, and you're just watching it, you're like, and it's just bringing you back to this place in your life.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's cool that you are able to sort of
really cool.
memorialize some people in your writing. That's neat.
Yeah. And, Richard, you and I have talked about this too. We're both sons of the South and see the good and the bad of the South.
Right.
I think the South, obviously, for historical reasons, gets a bad rap, but also there's a beauty to the South, that I think also sort of people don't know. And I like to call the New South.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and I'm sorry, I'm going to get to your question, but this was the first idea, and I know I've talked about this before, but everyone talks about the sort of process to get on the show. And when I went to, for a better term of the word, audition for the show as a writer, you had to sit, and there was Sarah, there was Bob Singer, and there was Eric Kripke, and you had to sort of pitch them. And they told you, come in with some ideas. And I think this was one of the first ones I pitched.
Oh, cool.
And I remember Kripke going, we're doing that. And I was like, I might get this job.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And by the way, it took 3 years.
Yeah.
And he wasn't there anymore. But,
Right.
but by the time we did it, but there was that was that. And then there was also, to me, always from the moment I saw the show, I was like, and I deal with this too, because even though I was born in Georgia, I was raised in New York. So I had my roots are from the South, but my upbringing's in the North. So I'm a New Yorker, proud kid from the Bronx who spent his summers and Christmases, and everything like that down in Covington, Georgia, in Decatur. And so that idea that, oh my God, if I lived in a different time, I would have had to fight my cousins.
Yeah.
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 And, Sam and Dean always, sort of that battle, they love each other, but that sort of thing, like, it just always felt like it was rich.
Right.
That sort of story. And I remember when I wrote my first script, I think was 2.5 Men, Kripke's note to me was, they're not Southern. Like I was writing them very sort of, he's like, I get the flannels and I get the muscle cars, but you're writing it too Southern.
Right.
So I remember I had to oh yeah. Even though I had watched the show, and was a fan of the show.
Yeah, to pull
I
that
was
back a
writing
little bit.
Well, and Jared and Jensen both bring a little bit of a Texas swagger to the table.
Yeah.
So
100%. So, I mean, it's a long way of saying all those things are rich. But to get to your veterinarian thing, it was interesting. I was the guy who I loved the monster of the week. That's what I loved about the show.
Yeah, same.
And I wasn't the big myth guy. That was more Robbie and Andrew Dabb. And, at least in my generation, and Ben would be great at that. But, I was always, it was a baseball team. I was just trying to, hit singles and doubles,
Yeah.
And I think it was a show, rightfully so, that really, if you were a myth person, you were sort of at a different level because they always, the mythology was so important to the show. And by the way, definitely the reason I should have never run the show, and neither of you would have been on the show. But the minute it went into like heaven and hell, I was like, what are we talking about? This is about monsters. Like I remember as a fan watching the show, I'm like, what are they doing? They've made such a mistake.
Right.
I was obviously wrong. So I never was a big sort of like myth guy, but part of what I always loved about the show and what it taught me was you had to sort of like, you had your monster of the week, but we're always sprinkling the mythology in. So, we'd say if you're doing 22 episodes, 16 to 18 of them would monster of the week. And then you do, 6 episodes of mythology, but you're always keeping the mythology alive. So sometimes you got the mythology and you didn't know where it was coming, or where it was going. So to your point, like we would owe stuff and you'd have to figure out how to put it into the story. But with the veterinarian story was like, and again, I forgot about all this till I was watching the episode, right? Dean was in purgatory for a year and Sam, didn't come looking for him. Instead hooked up with this girl and had this life,
right.
For a year, which, was always Sam's thing. Sam had a life before the show started. Sam.
Right.
And always what drew Sam, was Sam wanted to live a normal life. This was where Dean embraced their inheritance of being hunters. Sam always fought against it,
Right.
Right. So in that way, I thought it really worked nicely. And I don't want to give away any spoilers because I did all of a sudden, it was like, oh, I remember where this goes. I remember this whole story. I remember sitting in the writer's room. I mean, we could talk about it, but the way it all works in the episode, which is really nice, is like we get to finally have that conversation. But it's Dean possessed, or is Dean? I mean, Dean's possessed, but what Dean's saying
is all true. That's one of our things we said in breaking down the episode. We're like, even in the cloud of rage, he makes some salient points.
Sure does.
You know what I mean? Like it all feels very grounded.
Yeah, and I mean, he brings up basically the whole history of the show.
Yeah,
like you did this, you did that, you went and hunted with Samuel. Like he just starts bringing it up. You didn't tell me you didn't have a soul.
Yeah.
You didn't. It's like
exactly.
By the way, I love Sam goes, yeah, we all made some mistakes.
I know. I mean, his litany of mistakes, and the one that he sort of caps it off with is the most relevant one, which is, dude, you didn't come looking for me for a year. You just changed your phone number.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and then maybe that's why as a viewer, it's a little harder to get to become a cheerleader to Sam's choices because you're like, I have no horse in the race with this relationship you have with this woman.
Yeah.
I have all my horses are in the other relationship. Why are you so clocked out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll give you the counter argument. And listen, right? I mean, I've been accused by the fandom of being a Dean boy, and in some ways, I related to Dean because I was an older brother and all that stuff. But from Sam's point of view, I think you have to sort of just also be like, Sam didn't want this life. In some ways, it's the Godfather, right? It's
right.
when and Michael sort of has no choice; he has to sort of take over the mantle. But and his father says, oh, it could have been Senator Coyo, Governor Coyo. There wasn't enough time, Michael. It's like Sam is in sort of a similar struggle where I think, there's a part of me who's like, I get it, man. I mean, how much do you give to this life that pays you back nothing, right? Like, what you make this sacrifice. Don't you deserve love? Don't you deserve? And I mean, it's a theme we play throughout the whole show for 15 seasons, and where we like to all believe we're Dean, but most likely we're all really Sam.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dean's sacrifice is like unbelievable. Yeah. Like, that he's willing to sacrifice and do all these things.
Just hold that thought. We're coming right back. Hey everybody, it's Rob. Cold mornings, holiday plans. This is when I need my wardrobe to just work. That's why I'm all about Quince. You've heard me talk about it before. I really dig this place. I recently got a pair of pants, slacks, that can fit any occasion. You can wear them with tennis shoes. You can wear them with nice shoes. You wear them with no shoes. These pants don't care. They just look good. Quince has clothes that make you feel sharp, feel good, and best of all, you can find gifts there for all your friends and all your family for this holiday season. From Mongolian cashmere sweaters to Italian wool coats, Quince pieces are crafted from premium materials and built to hold up without the luxury markup. Quince makes essential items that every guy needs. The Mongolian sweaters I was talking about, they're just $50. They've also got Italian wool coats that look and feel designer, but they're cheap. They're not designer prices. And they got denim, they got chinos that fit just right. And you want to talk about outerwear? I mean, are we talking outerwear? I mean, it's no joke. They got down jackets, wool top coats, leather styles. Did you hear me say wool top coats? They've got all that, and they're all built to last because they're made from premium materials by trusted factories that meet rigorous standards for craftsmanship and ethical production, which is the part I really, really like. So by cutting out the middleman and the traditional markups, Quince delivers the same quality as luxury brands at a fraction of the price. I mean, this is my favorite time of year because it starts to cool down. Even here in Los Angeles, it cools down. And you need jackets, you need coats. And, finding the right winter coat is just easy with Quince because they have so many options. And the prices actually make sense. It's affordable, but also luxury. So you can't go wrong. These pants I just bought, these slacks, they're really cozy too. So they're keeping my legs warm, which is important. Quince has gifting covered like no one else. And it's beyond just clothing. I got this bag from Quince. It's fantastic. They've got stuff for home, bath, kitchen, or travel. Great travel stuff, which I also have lots of because, we travel all the time. So Quince has got you covered. Get your wardrobe sorted and your gift list handled with Quince. Don't wait. Go to quince.com/STN for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's QUINCE.com/STN. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/STN.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies just to see if you could save some cash? Well, Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Thank you for supporting Supernatural then and now. And now, back to the show.
So let me ask you this. When you're writing this episode, you pitched this episode, as you say,
3 years earlier.
3 years earlier. Now they're like, hey, this one, go back and do that one. But you still, to your point, you have a Monster of the Week episode that you have to weave mythology into. You have to backstory. You have to bring in these flashbacks. Did you find that challenging to find a natural home for those moments?
I will say this. I always did, but this one sort of worked only because it helped with the A story, right?
Right.
There's conflict. These two, finally, there's a spectrum, which, by the way, I totally took from DC Comics, being a big DC comic fan.
Nice.
The Spectre was an avenging ghost, so it was like, that was, and then I looked it up and actually, they had stolen it, from actually, if you look up Spectre, it's avenging ghost, avenging spirit. And I always knew I wanted to do something around that because we were always looking for different kinds of monsters,
Right.
like that's what I love. Like I loved the one thing I really loved about Supernatural always that we created our own lexicon, which, Stephen King does incredibly well, never says vampire, say Nightcrawler,
Right.
Nightwalker, or,
Right.
and we were really good at, and Sarah especially, which would always be like, don't make it a vampire, find a different, kind of thing for it. And you'd go and find some ancient Roman, sort of word for a vampire,
Right.
It's funny. This was like taking a couple of different ideas I had and figuring a way to put it all into one thing. And obviously with the help of the writer's room, I couldn't have done it without the help of the writers.
Like, was the Civil War in it originally in the pitch?
Yeah, because I'm a big history buff. So like, all that stuff was like, but I don't know if it was the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, but the idea of giving a penny so that if you got lost, you had food.
Yeah, that was really clever. So you had something to deal with. Good luck and something to use.
And the object is what is the object that's moving around, the idea of like the way of the gun. Like I always loved that idea of like this object is what's possessing you and it's moving. And, and I, again, I'll give credit where credit's due. Like, Jeremy was in the editing room and he's the one who, picked Soundgarden, which, was just so cool. Like that moment.
That's a great song.
Yeah. And I think we finally get to that point where we could get those tunes. Cause in the beginning, I know they would talk about, they'd go to people and they'd say, no. But I think the show had become so iconic at that point.
Right.
That's awesome.
Soundgarden was like, oh, that's awesome.
so cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, let's do it. And that song, and even the way that was shot and the way we sort of at the end played off the penny and you see how everybody got to possess and how it all connected to each other.
Yeah, I'm really glad that was there because it was you were sitting there kind of going like, no, I'm trying to connect the dots here, so that was a kind of a critical.
And there are a couple of red herrings along the way too. Like you think maybe it's his inhaler that's doing it. You think maybe it's that.
And thematically, it's interesting. I'm thinking about it more now that you're talking about it. Is the obvious but subtly played brother against brother Civil War, Sam and Dean.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
And then throw DJ in, who's also a son of the South. And somebody a character I loved, and also the whole idea that and I remember I'd like to say I pitched it, but I don't remember. But somebody saying, it might have been Dabb or Robbie, but somebody saying, what if he was the new Bobby?
Right. That was great.
Right.
Like him trying to fill those shoes. And Rob pointed it out correctly so, that one of the best scenes in the whole episode is when Garth finally steps up and just tells Dean to put a cork in it.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, I'm not stealing your emotional journey. I have my emotional journey. We all loved Bobby. Bobby was Bobby to all of us.
He didn't belong to you.
Not just to you.
That's right.
And it was great. It was a great scene. And it gave Garth an opportunity to drop the G. Willikers act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really landed.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote Party on Garth. I wrote, a couple of things. It was just, he was like one of those characters. Well, one, I just love DJ, what's not to love? He's such a great guy.
Right.
And then he turned around and it was a character that was sort of a one and done. I think Dan and Andrew had created him. And I was I would keep pitching him. And, it was also, that was a weird thing. You're touching someone else's play toys, right? So I would go to those guys and go, hey, I know you guys created Garth, but I have a couple ideas, and I would pitch on it. And then finally landed. And then I think once he came back on Party on Garth, then people were they bought in.
Right. Now he's back. He's in.
Now he's back. And then we sort of could use him and play him. And then the boys loved him, and everyone loved him. I mean, so it was also, that always helps.
Yeah.
Actors out there always be beloved.
Exactly.
Definitely helps. Because you would bring him up and everybody bring him back. Yeah, man, I love DJ.
So you make a good point though. So in the writer's room, when a writer creates a character, it belongs to them in a way. So if you want to bring that character back, is the sort of the politics of that as you kind of go to that writer? And
I felt like it was. I mean, some people would probably disagree. It belongs to the show, obviously.
Right.
But, at the end of the day, out of respect, I would turn around and always ask the writer if somebody created something, and, look, I created characters that got reused, and, that was fine, and there are certain characters like Abaddon, that character obviously gets reused all the time, but she becomes such a big part of the mythos, that you knew that was going to happen to other people going to write that character.
And when a writer creates a character, when that character is used, that writer gets that credit, right? Is that the way that it works?
I mean, not really. Warner Brothers owns everything. Okay. So this is even the comic book thing, right? I put Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad, it becomes $1 billion, sort of franchise. I get 2 tickets to the premiere and a thank you in the credits, not like anybody gives me money,
Right.
But it's the same thing, in that you get, I think the fandom recognizes who created who and what characters, but there's no there's a very small fee that I think you get, enough to buy us lunch.
I
maybe,
see.
right. That if the character gets reused again and again.
So with Garth, was it in the script that he had 80s hip hop as his ringtone, or was that you? Or
we were laughing so hard. We were just coming up with all these different what the ringtone was and everything. And then and I even think Phil sort of jumped in because I think Phil directed Party on Garth. I can't remember, but I think he started playing with the idea of the ring, and they started having a lot of fun with that. I mean, listen, you guys know this. You both also have been behind the cameras and behind the scenes. You know how it works. There's the script you write, the script you shoot, and the script you edit.
Right.
And, definitely some of the unsung heroes of Supernatural were in post, the magic that they brought. Phil and Todd, did such great jobs. And, you'd see cut the episode and you'd be like, okay, well, they're not all going to be home runs, and then all of a sudden it would come out and you'd be like, oh my God, that episode is amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't think it left people recognize, that, but those guys really turned around, and especially music and sound design and all those things, which made that show. I mean, the thing that always blows me away is no matter how far I am from the show, the minute I watch it, I'm back in and it's, and I've shared this with you before, it wasn't the easiest place for everybody to work from a writer's point of view. It was a tough show, but it just makes me smile every time I watch the show. I just, it just brings back so many good memories, and it just, a lot of memories. It's, I joke, the house I live in is the house Supernatural built. Like, it's
Right.
like my kids were young, like, it's just like, I made lifelong friends and Robbie and Andrew and Jenny Klein and Ben. And like, it's just like, it's like putting a warm blanket on every time I turn on the show.
Yeah.
But I love the way your mind works too, because you are an incredibly creative guy. I've known you for years and have seen your work in various forms. But it sounds to me like one of the strongest arrows in your quiver for Supernatural was pragmatism. You know what I mean? Yes. Read the room, know what the bosses are looking for, and understand how to make it be as creative as you can within a framework that's achievable.
Sure. And also listen, not that you don't want to stretch your muscles, but you also sort of have to know your strengths, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, like I love the way Robbie's mind thought, but Robbie was a myth guy. Like he would just he's like, anyone else would have pitched like, hey, let's do a whole scene in Baby in the car, and the whole, like do a whole episode around it. Like great idea. How to execute that. That's a Robbie thing. Robbie knows how to do those things great. Andrew too. Andrew was just so great with coming up with these sort of bigger mythos ideas. And again, I was like, what I loved about the show when I watched the first 2-3 seasons of it was the Monster of the Week stuff. So I think that I always felt like that was my lane.
Yeah.
And that was what I could bring to the show.
Yeah. And when you're watching this episode, like I felt like I was in really good hands when it came to that puzzle being solved by the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you go through that journey with you. And you do that so well. I've worked with you on other shows that are more that,
Yeah. And that's my procedural background, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's sort of at that point in my career, that's what I felt really comfortable in the lane. Also, something I thought about watching the show is we could never shoot that episode now. There are no Confederate flags anywhere anymore, like at least legally. You know what I'm saying? Like all those are gone.
Thank God.
Like, yeah, 100%. But I'm saying like when he has that, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Episode. And when we were growing up, they were everywhere.
Yes, they were.
It's crazy. Yeah. We used to go to a place called Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you all have been to Stone Mountain, but it is the Confederates Washington Monument. Not Washington Monument, Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
So it's Jefferson Davis and Andrew Jackson and, it's just all these things up there.
Wow.
And I would go up there and watch laser Zeppelin shows. And, and at the end, they would literally put the lasers on the mountain. And the same guy who, by the way, built Mount Rushmore, built this.
Amazing.
And they would march them and play Dixie. And people would go crazy. This is the 80s.
Wow.
And by the way,
unbelievable.
This is how I bonded with Chris Robinson of the Black Crowes, because I went up to him after a show and told him this. And he's like, oh my God, yes, I remember that. And it was crazy. They still do it to this day, by the way. It's absolutely insane. But with all that said,
that's so weird.
It was a reminder of a time and place. And when I was watching that episode, all I thought about was, wow, like I don't even know if we could do this episode today.
I'm from Missouri. I was born and raised in Missouri. Have you been to Kearney? Do you know?
I don't know Kearney, but listen, what I know about Missouri was the James brothers, and Jesse James and his brother, who also fought on different sides and the cousins of the war, because Missouri is like, one of those places too that,
Missouri Compromise. Yeah.
Little split up.
Look at Rob throwing himself into the Southern conversation.
Right?
I like
I belong here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like, hey, I belong.
Although, no, not that part.
It is trippy to reflect on, and this is a whole different episode that all three of us could be involved in, about like perceptions of the South versus the real South versus who's holding on to the antiquated history versus who's trying to move the ball forward. I know the three of us are moving the ball forward,
100%.
But it's an interesting tug of war that goes on down there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And I love it very much, and I want only the best for the South, and it's nice to see it maturing somewhat.
Yeah, and I think it's going to take a generation or two. The only thing I would say,
like you think Lindsey Graham is not the pointy end of the bayonet. You know what I mean? Like we gotta move past some of these guys.
It's a deeper conversation, but I would just say this: I think that had we said that there was like, okay, Confederate flag definitely needed to go, but if the South had a new flag, the older generation would have said, screw that flag. But in a generation or two, that would have became the flag.
Right.
And I think you need to turn around, and you can't tell people they need something to be proud of. They need something to wrap themselves around. And unfortunately, they wrap themselves around something that had a really bad history to it.
Right.
So let's give people a new history and give them something new to be proud of.
Right.
And something to build off of. And then I think you'll see a different South in a generation or two.
100%. And just to put a spotlight on that one little point, there were so many of those statues that I took for granted growing up in the South. They were like, oh yeah, there's that Civil War soldier, there's Jefferson Davis, whatever, there's Robert E. Lee. And then you get older and realize, oh no, these were all built after the civil rights movement as a basically giving the finger to progress and acceptance. And you're like, oh, shoot. Well, then they got to go.
Yeah.
But you don't think about it as a kid.
No, you don't.
You have to get older, learn, perceive, absorb, and go, no, we're not doing that. And that's your point of it needs to, like, we are that generation that helped with that level. And then there's a whole wave of people our age and younger who will continue to move that forward.
Yeah. If you have a new flag, you need to have it needs to be, inclusive. You need to something that Black Americans can also identify with.
Yeah, not a battle flag from the war.
No, and by the way, I have a lot of Black friends from the South who will tell you they love the South,
of course,
and they and they want to find ways to again make it the new South and to create sort of a new era and a new time. And like anything, look, change takes time.
Dude, I love this. It's really and truly like you're in my sweet spot here. This would be a whole podcast. I would love to have a conversation about. Because as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, these two guys running Tennessee in the Senate. I'm like, nah, wrong podcast.
We'll call it Southern
I love the fact that
the podcast.
Yeah, I love that you tapped into Adam Glass, Rob Benedict, and Richard Spades, Southern Comfort podcast. I love that you tapped into it a little bit in the show because the show does feel sometimes Midwest Southern, but it never really deals with that element, but it did in this episode. Yeah. So good for you.
Yeah. And Dean saying, we won, and burning the thing. That was a good moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We won. Yeah.
We won. Yeah. Okay. So how much can you talk about what you're working on right now?
Yeah. What can you talk about?
I can just say, and actually think any moment there's going to be a blast on Deadline about it. Mm-hmm. So
we're breaking the news first. Ha! Even though this will come out after the Deadline article, but nonetheless, we're recording it first.
Andrew Dabb and I obviously have stayed friends for a very long time. And as we know, our business has been going through quite a transition. But I think when there's disruption, there's opportunity. And we decided that we wanted to do something different outside of the system of Hollywood. And, nothing against system. It's supported us incredibly well, and we've all done incredibly well in it. But like there has been other times in the history of both, mostly in cinema, and you go Easy Riders to Raging Bull, which I'm sure we've all read the book and seen the documentary.
Right.
Some great stuff really came out of the same thing where there was a disruption in the business and people created opportunities. So we're trying to do the same thing. So we're making an independent TV series, which I would argue, without giving away too much, its DNA is definitely in supernatural worlds, in the sense of like, not that there's a supernatural element to it, but just the kind of idea it is. And what we did was we wrote a pilot and we went and then raised the money for a writer's room. And then me, Andrew, and another guy named Justin Lee, we turned around and three of us in a writer's room, and Michael, our writer assistant, spent 16 weeks and wrote 8 episodes. And then got it fully financed with no studio, no network, no thing. And we were able to start shooting. And we just finished the first 4 weeks, came home for Thanksgiving. I go back for 3 weeks for Christmas, and I go back for another 4 weeks in January. We're shooting in upstate New York. Corey Stahl is the star of it, who, great character actor.
Love Corey Stahl. Great actor.
Yeah, great actor. It's JD Pardo, who was the lead on the Mayans for many years, for 5 years, great actor. We have a bunch of different, Donald Logue.
Oh yeah.
Love Donald Logue.
A good friend, and Donald's a great actor. Julia Stiles, who is just killing it, who's amazing.
Awesome.
And so, Richard Shepard's directing, who basically has directed the pilot to, Ugly Betty and Criminal Minds and all that stuff. And really, I think the thing that we're all loving about it is it's really the artist taking control of the narrative. And the scripts are really good because we have been doing this long enough that we could edit ourselves and that we could note ourselves. So every script we went over 1,000.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we weren't getting those notes of like, I don't understand this, or this motivated, or should they wear red versus blue? I mean, we're really our own bosses, and we're taking all the risk, obviously. But we really believe this model is going to become part of the conversation, and that you're going to see more and more people doing this. And to my knowledge, at least, outside of like the Duplass brothers, who, Mark and them, but they do some great stuff. But this is really a fully realized show that we're making for under $1 million.
Wow.
Amazing. So, just fantastic.
Wow. That's incredible.
And we're really excited about it. It's called Recap, and, we'll finish it up and we're going to go out and sell it.
That's the key here, is like you're doing this without a home. You're doing which is like the indie film model.
Yeah.
You're just taking it and making indie TV.
That's awesome.
I think it's genius. I think it's
inspiring.
I think it's inspiring. I think it's probably going to become a new normal, but
Yeah.
you guys are certainly pioneers in this field. And I'm super excited that you guys are doing this. And I'm stoked that it's two of my buddies doing it. I think it's inspirational.
Yeah, no, we're super excited. And, it's definitely hard to shoot, especially in the weather in upstate New York, but it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it looks like an Apple series, though it could also be a Netflix series, everybody, or an Amazon
Hulu.
series, or a Paramount Plus
Sure
series.
as heck
or
could be. Your network name here
Yeah.
presents. Dude,
Awesome,
thank you so
man.
much for coming and having this conversation. Proud of you for doing all you're doing with Mr. Dabb, and love that you guys are.
Yes.
Love the friendships that Supernatural forged, and alliances and professional connections and
Yeah, and people don't even realize probably, I mean, obviously you guys are on the circuit, so you guys see each other a little more, but like Jim wrote that play and you guys did the reading. It was so good. My wife and I saw you down at Theater West. That was awesome. Like, we all try to support each other, and it's something I love. And, like you said, we're still in each other's lives, even if we don't see each other for a while. And, you guys always supportive of my daughter's band, Glass Kinsman.
Yeah.
And like, you gave me that artist, Richard, that just does all their posters, who's amazing.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
what's her name? Let's
Beth.
give her a shout
Beth.
out. What's
Twixter Art.
Beth, killing it and everything like that. So, once part of this family, always part of this family.
Awesome, man.
And that's what I love about it.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. We'll have you back when we're getting into the next wave of your story.
No, I love to.
Awesome.
I love to
Thanks,
talk some
Adam.
more.
Awesome.
Keep in
Thanks,
touch.
buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Hey there, this is Jared Padalecki, and I hope you're enjoying the episode. But we gotta pull over for a second for some messages.
The holidays are approaching, and everyone knows that this time of year, the sooner you can get things done, the better. For both shoppers and businesses, the best time to score great deals during the holidays is during that Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. And if you have your own business, whether you've been around the block a few times or this is your first year going through the holiday sale rush, the most important thing you can have is a platform that can handle everything that's about to be thrown at you. This is a crucial time for your business and your customers. And with Shopify, you can be sure that your tools and platform are ready for anything that comes your way. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names to entrepreneurs who will be participating in their first Black Friday, Cyber Monday this year. With everything else going on, you probably don't have time to spend hours poring over every little detail in your online store. That's why Shopify's thousands of templates and tools help you streamline website creation and make sure that your site isn't just aesthetically pleasing, but functional and easy to use. Shopify's expedited checkout, Shop Pay, saves customer information and reduces hassle. And the best part is that it's been proven to boost conversions, meaning you'll see less abandoned carts and more profits. You can also stress less knowing that Shopify's award-winning customer support team is on standby 24/7 to help with any issues that arise, allowing you to get back to your business as fast as possible. This Black Friday, join the thousands of new entrepreneurs hearing for the first time with Shopify. Sign up for your free trial today at shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm and make this Black Friday one to remember.
Hey, this is Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast, here to tell you that Michelob Ultra, the official beer partner of the NBA, is bringing NBA fans closer than ever this season with chances to win great prizes, including courtside tickets. Enter now at michelobultra.com/courtside. Michelob Ultra Courtside 25 to 26. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 plus. Begins on October 1st, 2025 and ends on June 30th, 2026. Multiple entry periods. See official rules at michelobultra.com/courtside for free entry deadlines, prizes, and details.
Hey, guess what? We're back.
My goodness.
Good man.
No, I mean, I knew we needed him for this.
Yeah.
We needed the help. He was a learned guide, and I think it was really what an interesting idea that he came up with this story 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it finally found life. And
Yeah, it's great. And as I knew it would, makes me appreciate the episode more.
it does, man. It just does. Well, Rob, we could, reflect on that interview all day long, or we could move forward into a segment I like to call mythology.
Okay, the team comes up against a specter.
It was a specter's name, by the way. Any chance that specter's name Phil?
I was just going to make a Phil Spector joke. It might be, because Phil Spector was kind of a bad dude.
Yeah.
No, it's not Phil Spector. It's just Spectre. It's supernatural kind of specter. It's a vengeful spirit that possesses people, makes them act out existing feelings of betrayal while still maintaining their identity. Rich, where does the word spectre come from?
If memory serves, it's derived from the Latin word spectrum.
Oh, you've got one of those.
Meaning questionable internet and overpriced cable packages. No, wait, sorry. That's just my specific problem I have with spectrum. It means image or apparition.
You always talk about sometimes you have leakage out of your spectrum.
I went to see a spectrologist and he solved that. But thank you.
In general, though, specters are considered a type of ghost or spirit that's specifically motivated by revenge. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
That's new to me.
And now I'm afraid of your specter. Now I have reason to live in fear.
And that's all you get from
That's it from mythology. Blah, 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 mythology. Let's hope he does better in the segment called Fun Facts! Fun Facts! Fun Facts! Fun Facts.
The title Southern Comfort is a reference to a popular bourbon.
Well, immediately that's wrong. It's not a bourbon.
Yeah.
It's also not a whiskey. And a bourbon is a whiskey, but not all whiskeys are bourbon. This is definitely not a bourbon. And now we've read earlier in this podcast that it's not even a whiskey. It's classified as a liqueur.
So ha. We should have a a part of the podcast called So Ha, where we debunk our own fun facts. It also might be a reference to the 1981 action film directed by Walter Hill and starring Keith Carradine.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it's not that.
No?
It's referencing the booze.
Do you know that movie?
I don't.
I don't either.
This is interesting.
So it wasn't that popular.
That's my point. As we like to do, we like to tell you what the titles were in foreign lands.
It's a global show.
In Hungary, the Hungarian title is As a Talk, which means the curse.
Oh.
And I'm not even trying this next one. Rob, you want to?
Okay, this is looks like this is Japanese.
Our friends in Japan enjoying another episode of Supernatural.
Let's see. Loosely translated.
Yeah, give me the ballpark.
Okay. The happy fun boat that kills you.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, I bet that happy fun boat just sends Sam into a flashback. She probably once said the word boat.
She had a boat.
She was happy one time. The Confederate tomb of the unknown soldier is in Biloxi, Mississippi. Kearney, Missouri does not have one.
Oh, wow.
This entire episode is built on a lie.
Lie. I wonder why they couldn't go all the way to the Biloxi.
Next thing you're going to tell me that Sam and Dean are played by actors and aren't really brothers. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous.
Come on. No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Garth's alias, Texas Ranger named Ranger McCrae, refers to the 1989 TV miniseries Lonesome Dove.
Oh, great miniseries, by the way. Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, I missed that reference, though.
So did I.
But I do think it's interesting that he was playing a Texas Ranger and,
It was nice foreshadowing. You're not wrong, Rob.
Yeah.
The Sheriff's Office investigation report into the vandalism at the tomb of the unknown Confederate soldier bears the officer's name, Sergeant Neil Williams. Neil Williams was an assistant production coordinator on Supernatural. He sure was.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, Neil, he wasn't there the whole run, but he was there when they made this. I remember Neil. Nice guy.
Shout out to Neil. Apparently, Garth likes 80s hip-hop. The ringtones on Garth's phones were Jump by Criss Cross, Wild Wild West by Kool Moe Dee, and You Cannot Touch This by Mr. MC Hammer.
MC Hammer. Well, I tell you, this was an episode. Always great to see DJ Qualls doing his thing, and he brought a lot of nice moments and sort of Bobby transition thoughts to the whole thing.
Yeah, and we just spent a week with DJ, so it was fun to sort of see him.
Yeah, and the entire time we were with him, he was hatless. Repeat, hatless.
Hatless.
Not wearing a cowboy hat. So
no cowboy hat,
which is weird on a cruise ship. You'd think you'd have at least one cowboy hat,
Yeah, we got to have the hair designer on this season because his hair was great too.
I know.
DJ's hair looked great. Everybody's hair looks great this season.
The stylist, I believe they're called. The hairstylist, yes.
Sure.
The hair cutter person.
The hair person. And great to talk to Adam Glass, our buddy.
Oh, so glad. And he really unraveled some puzzle pieces for me on this one, which I always appreciate. And Rob knows this. Rob and I both suffer the same fate here, which is we review the episode. We have thoughts about it that we are passionate about. We interview somebody close to the show, and it completely changes our opinion.
Everything.
Of the episode.
Yeah. We should probably do the interview first and then do the review.
I know. But look, Adam is always so insightful and so smart, and nothing is done by accident. And so it's always great to have his conversation.
Yeah.
Have that conversation and get his input. So thank you, Adam Glass. And now on to the next episode. Robert, I can't wait for it. Let's get to it next week.
All right, let's do it. I'll see you there. This episode of Supernatural features Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester and Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester.
Guest stars include DJ Qualls, Leanne Balaban, Julian Bailey, Chilton Crane, Aaron Craven, and Vincent Dangerfield.
Southern Comfort was written by Adam Glass and directed by Tim Andrew.
Editing by Jimmy Pickle. The music was by our dear friend, Mr. Jay Gruska.
And the lead set dresser was Perry Batista, our buddy Perry.
Always great to see Perry. Executive produced by Robert Singer and Jeremy Carver.
Supernatural was created by Eric Kripke.
This episode featured the following song, Fell on Black Days by Soundgarden.
When did this episode air?
I believe, if memory serves, it originally aired on November 7th of 2012.
This episode of Supernatural Then and Now was hosted and executive produced by Richard Spade Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hine. Written by Stephen Hine and Haida Holscher.
And edited and associate produced. And with us today live, Mr. Trey Booty. Music provided by Tim Wynn.
The episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuel Studios.
This podcast is from Story Mill Media.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at SPN Then and Now.
Become a member of the podcast to get early access, chat rooms with other podcast fans, and video interviews at patreon.com/SPN Then and Now.
That's funny. You know, you and I did a meet and greet with fans. There was a young lady from Australia who really took offense to my dissing of Amy.
Oh,
you
right,
were there.
right,
She was like, I love it. I love the Amy storyline. I'm like, well, I mean, I absolutely respect you and your opinion. And
agree to disagree.
But it was an interesting, she really wanted to know why it ate at me. And it kind of challenged my thinking process, but we discussed it in a civilized manner.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that Amy has some fans out there. They might only be down under.
Yeah.
But she has some support,
exactly.
some love.
Doesn't mean the same down there, maybe.
Come on, Trey. How about the little librarian jokes? These are home runs. I hope you're writing these down. Wave these in Hines' face.
At the library, they learned the soldier was likely Vance Collins. I've done this already. A Confederate killed
you
by
just want to
Union
circle
brother.
back to the library.
I was thinking about that librarian again.
Boy, Hines just dropped this crap shack of a sentence on us and walked away. Boom, mofo. That's how you slide in under the wire.
That's how you do it.
1 minute till interview time. Huh.
You're already better than Steve.
Dude, seriously, you're already you're recording the actual full podcast. That's a novel idea.
No, we always tease him because we'll be a couple sentences in and then it's like, you are now recording.
I know. And it'll be like right at something critical. Be like, well, Phil, why did you almost commit to it? You're now recording. Rob, I got a comment on your angle, the angle of your camera. You've switched angles.
Yes, I have. I wondered how long it would take you to notice.
0 seconds. I noticed the second it came on.
Well, this is like the third podcast we've done, and you've finally noticed.
Really? I can't make fun of that. I can't call out the pool guy.
Yeah. It's a full defensive block.
You're embarrassed about aquatic maintenance, and I think that's a shame. I think it's important.
I think it's a shame, but people have preconceived notions about pools.
So Trey, you'll appreciate this. Somebody asked Rob when we were on our cruise or in Germany or something. They were like, "Hey Rob, did you bring your pool guy with you?" Like they were in on the joke.
This gives me a little bit more privacy, and again, protection.
I don't like it at all. But you know what? Right up that top window, up that sliver window, I'll be able to see your tree trimmer whenever he comes and does his thing. So I'll see somebody. Don't you worry.
All right.
Screw this.
Story Mill Media.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
'Tis the season for all your holiday favorites, like A Very Jonas Christmas Movie and Home Alone on Disney+.
Should I burn down the joint? I don't think so.
Then Hulu has National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
For all
all in for a very big Christmas treat.
All of these and more streaming this holiday season. And right now, save big with our special Black Friday offer. Bundle Disney Plus and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 1 year. Savings compared to current regular monthly price. Ends 12/1. Offer for ad-supported Disney Plus Hulu bundle only. Then $12.99 a month or then current regular monthly price. 18 plus terms apply.